test-wise?
Yeah, so we have a deal with the NTRA, and what they're doing is they're putting up a spot in the NHC for people who've purchased panel or VIP passes for EquestriaCon. You get a free entry into a tournament, the winner of which will get an NHC spot, which is obviously hard to come by. Yeah. Buy-ins for these qualifiers are usually $150, $160. So, knowing a panel pass is $125, the value's in it right there. I believe it's going to be hosted Traverse Weekend. Those the details are coming out shortly, but that'll be done online through horseplayers.com, their new website. And I'm excited. I think it's a great value for people.
I think it's a fabulous value because not only do you get in at a price point that's a little bit cheaper than, as you say, a lot of these contests out there, but you're now in with a more limited contest group, and that's part of the thing. I like to play these online. I love the contests, and the online contests you're in with a couple hundred people, and I say for every 50 that are in, somebody's got a career day.
Yeah.
So 50, if there's 200, there's like 4 people, and you hope it's yours, which it can be.
Absolutely.
But right. They're like 4. It's like you look at the end of the day and think, how did they do that?
Yeah.
So the smaller the field, and that's what makes this kind of attractive as well. Okay, I'm going to put you guys on the spot a little bit. Not too much because it's your baby, but I'll ask each of you maybe 2 or 3 of the panels that particularly appeal and you guys may show up with. Katie, what's going to appeal to you?
I think obviously from what I've said, the photography panel is going to be incredible. I'm really looking forward to the media panel. Actually, I think that's something that never gets its spotlight, its moment. So I'm excited about that. We have so much covered. Just some of the handicapping panels. I as a fan of the sport, it's always great to learn more. And we have, I think, 6 or 7 different panels dedicated to tournament handicapping. All of these different angles. So I'm really excited.
I honestly, actually, so far, I believe the highest registration number is for one that I'm really looking forward to, which is the race callers panel. We have Tom Durkin, Larry Colmus, Dave Rodman, and Travis Stone. So they'll be covering. I mean, they've called a lot of big races, and they've also called some kind of quirky, fun ones over the years. So they're going to talk about some of their favorite race calls, and I have no doubt that'll be a lot of fun. And then, that we're doing a Q&A with Krugay and Coffin and Turcotte, and I'm very excited to hear what the Triple Crown winning jockeys say when they talk about what their stories were like. I mean, that's a pretty special thing, I think.
And again, highly recommend to swing by the website, just go down the panels, and there is something for everyone. You will find something you like. And again, I'm going to be on the media panel, and I will say I'll out myself at the panel as well, but I'll do it here on TV. I was on a similar panel right here in Saratoga a few years ago when they had the simulcast conference here. Yeah. And I said, I let off. I said, I may sound like the guy who 100 years ago said, oh, I like radio, this TV thing. I don't know about this. Because I said, and this was 7 or 8 years ago, I said, I'm not quite sure about Facebook or Twitter yet. In my defense, this is right at the time MySpace was disappearing, so you can see where Facebook and things like Alta Vista, which is the search engine I really like, that had disappeared, and AOL, which was going to be king of the world.
You're bringing back high school.
Sure. I thought maybe I'm not quite sure about that. And I was the oldest person on the panel. The other 3 young whippersnappers were all like, "Come on, old man." And so you can show up at that panel and see what I have to say about the way the media world has changed. It has. It should be a lot of fun, and the rest of the panel looks like a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a great event. Really looking forward to it. And just tout once again tickets.
Yep. EquestriaCon.com, and on the top right of the page, you'll see a buy tickets now thing. And we're all set. We're excited, and we think anybody who comes is going to have a great time.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And hats off to you guys for putting it together, because I think it's going to be a great addition to the Saratoga season.
We appreciate it.
Katie Sharp, Justin Nicholson, founders of EquestriaCon. We'll certainly alert you and plug some more guests in as we get closer. We are going to, I'm being told in my ear, just to once again alert you, as you guys said, August 13th, we're going to have that handicapping seminar. It's going to be right here on the network live to kind of kick things off. So we're happy to participate, and as I say, be a sponsor as well, but we'll kind of kick things off right here on the network with the handicapping panel on that Sunday, August 13th. All right, again, going to wrap things up. Appreciate the visit. We'll take a break. When we come back, Joe and Pepper, old friends at Cabin Creek, will join us a little bit later on. Dylan Davis. Racing Across America continues.
absolutely spectacular!
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
Don't miss the 2017 Thorough Fan Annual Awards Brunch with special guest speaker Donna Barton Brothers. This annual event is Saturday, August 12th at the Embassy Suites in Saratoga Springs, New York. Go to thoroughfan.com for tickets and information.
No matter where in the world you are, the excitement of wagering on horse racing is just a click away. CapitalOTB.com offers live streaming, past performances, race replays, our virtual Toteboard, analysis and selections from professional handicappers, and a simple, safe, and secure wagering platform. And best of all, you get track prices. Going on now, it's Bet 50, Get 50. Simply open a Capital Bets account, bet $50, and get $50 cash back. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. I had to guess flip-flop there, and I had it on my script, and I got an arrow and everything, but still Joe and Pepper and a couple, but we're happy to be joined right now by jockey Dylan Davis. Good morning, Dylan.
Hi, how you doing?
Thanks for swinging by. I'm sure it's busy up here in the morning in Saratoga, but we appreciate your stopping by.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
Dylan, of course, a local product, and talk a little bit about that. Folks may be familiar, certainly of my age and younger as well, but Robbie Davis, prominent on the New York scene in the jockey colony for years and years. And I guess upon retirement, settled in Saratoga, so you're a Saratoga product.
Oh, yeah. When my father retired, we grew up here in the Saratoga High School. Did a little bit of wrestling and dirt biking before I started riding.
Got a lot of your buddies showing up when you're out riding?
Oh, yeah. Before I go into the paddock, they're all screaming my names, and after the races, they have a lot of fun out there.
And fill us in a little bit. You alluded to it in reading bio information. I guess it was the motocross that kind of got you into horse racing, in that it just got to the point where motocross, maybe the parents were thinking, it's a little bit dangerous, and so you shifted over to horse racing, which I don't know is less dangerous, but it was something that certainly was in your blood.
Sure. Well, they got to a point where I got a little older, and I needed to get to a bigger bike when I got older, and my father said, no, it's too dangerous because that means bigger jumps, faster turns, a lot more aggressive riders. But so I had to figure out something to do, and I knew I grew up with racing my whole life, so I went and pointed in that direction.
Still a bike guy? You got a motorcycle?
No, not anymore. I can't ride one in the city there down in Long Island.
And that's where you are most of the year. You're based in New York all year long.
Yes, strictly NYRA circuits, but I do ship out of town for the trainers wherever I can ride.
And we'll hit on that in just a moment, in fact, because you had a nice ride up at Finger Lakes a couple of weeks back. And as I say, we'll hit on that. Before we do, though, just kind of your background. So you got into the game. You said, I'm going to move to pursue a career as a jockey, and you spent some time at the McCarran School.
Oh, yes. Right straight out of high school, my father recommended to go to Chris McCarran Jockey School. I did that for the year. Learned a lot, and you never stop learning in the business, but I learned a lot. Then right out of the school, I went to freelancing, galloping, 8 or 9 a day, babies, all the way to older horses, gate schooling. I learned a lot, and then I hooked up with Wesley Ward during the summer, and he gave me my first mounts here. I still have it on my keys, a Black Rhino as a yearling tag, but then it just took off from there.
Talk about the McCarran School and that first year. What kinds of things do folks learn on their way to becoming a jockey?
Well, with Chris McCarran's school, he started right from the basics. He didn't want to learn just strictly jockeying. He went from grooming, hot walking, all the basics. He wanted to learn from the ground up, and we did a lot of work. We started right in the barn. Once we learned all that and we got comfortable, we moved to the paddock and the fields. We learned that. Then we started galloping in the big fields, in the nice big acre, maybe 10-acre fields.
Yeah.
And then once he felt like we were ready, we would start going to the track because we wanted to make sure that the riders were safe out there, so we were ready. And then we started learning from there.
So it's a while even before you get on the horse.
Sure, yeah. He was going a couple months.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
And how does that background kind of set you up as a jockey, kind of learning about the horse and horse mentality and horse physiology and whatnot?
Oh, well, growing up when my father retired, I helped him in the mornings, and I learned from there before I went to the school. But I give my respect in regards to all the horsemen out there. I truly respect everyone from the business, from the bottom up. I treat everyone the same, and it's just a lot of respect for the people there.
And in your career, how important was your father? Watching him growing up, and then I'm sure, because I have seen him out there in the winner's circle with a big smile when the kids get things done right over here, and so I'm sure he had a lot of input on your career as well.
Oh, continuing all the way from the beginning to the end, but to watch my father ride and be there, it was a lot to me, and right now he still gives me a lot of input. He was very strongly, I know I can trust him with the honest opinions, and he's continuing to criticize me till like yesterday's rides. So he still tells me do this and do that, but I try to do my best I can, and I know he's always there for me.
I'd never thought of that, but that probably is true. When it's your dad or a sibling or something, you get the honest. There's no sugarcoating.
Sure,
you're going to get the straight dope. Your sisters, Katie and Jackie, they're currently riding out of town, correct?
Yes. Katie's at Delaware and Laurel, and she does ship to Penn National sometimes, but she's riding very, very good, and she's winning a lot of races weekly, and she's putting a lot of work in. Jackie, she's over at Parks riding too. She just moved out of Aqueduct straight right into Parks, and she's doing well also, and they're about to close for a couple weeks, so she'll be up here with the family. So,
how many siblings do you have?
Well, a total of us is six kids.
So half
yeah, 3 and 3, and I'm the youngest in the family. So.
Okay. I know at least 2 of you have ridden at the same time. Have all 3 of you been in the same race?
Yes. This year at Aqueduct we did. Katie shipped up, and it happened to be Jackie and me in the race also when in Aqueduct.
So are you guys keeping the career record of who's finishing in front of who?
No. But I did win the first. I did beat them 2 in the first race together. So
Yeah.
I know that.
There you go. You mentioned you remember your first ride, and that had to be special. And Wesley Ward is a guy who has brought a lot of people along in their careers. I salute him for that. He's a former jockey himself, so I'm sure you get great input from him. But remember that a little bit for us. The first ride, that's got to be a great first ride of the career. To jump right in on the big stage, it's a tough ask up here at Saratoga. But fill us in on what it was like.
Sure, yeah. Well, it had a lot of build-up, and I was nervous right when the entries came out. I was nervous as can be. But my dad was helping me at home in the fields. We put on some jockey pants and a saddle. My dad has some ponies at the house, so he let me get a little feel for that. But just all the way through the paddock, meeting Wesley Ward, greeting him and everything, and during the race, it was more of I was nervous. I just wanted to get around there and make sure, but it was very exciting. I got very, very tired. I actually rode back-to-back races, and to be nervous, you get tired faster.
Yeah.
So I was breathing very hard. But after it was over with, I thanked Wesley Ward for giving me the mounts anyway. But it was exciting to be in my hometown and ride my first race.
And what leads up to that? Have you been out? Had you had trips on the track in the morning already?
Oh yeah. Well, I did a lot of freelancing work before, and I've been around the track plenty of times. But during race day, it's very different.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm curious how different it is track to track. You've now ridden for quite a while, so you've been on different tracks. What's it like when you go to a new track to kind of get the lay of the land and figure things out, and you may be on a new horse as well? How does that factor in when you're moving from track to track?
Well, hopefully you're riding a later race in the card. You get a feel for it. You want to watch the races, see how the track's playing. Actually, I will pull up replays of other horses and see how they're running, but just to try to get an idea. But I do watch the TVG a lot, so I get an idea ahead of time, and see how the riders are riding. And it's just try to ride the best race you can, but you want to try to play the best by the track bias.
I'm curious whenever I have a jockey in here, and it seems 180 degrees with some jockeys. We were up at Woodbine for Queen's Plate a few weeks ago, and I talked to Rick De Silva on the show, and I said, how much studying do you do? He said, I used to do a lot, not as much now, because you have plan A, and sometimes the gate opens, you get on plan B. And I had Ramon in here the other day, and he said, I studied all the time. I would watch replays, and I would look at the racing form. Which direction are you in? The night before a race, are you poring over and looking what the competition's going to do, watching some replays?
Well, it depends on the race, but most of the time, the day of, I'll do a lot of studying. But beforehand, I just kind of look it over real quick. I don't want to stress myself out or get too much focus on something that's happening tomorrow. I want to have more focus on today. And I will watch a couple replays. I'll watch my horse. Where did he win? How did he win? How did he run his last start? And then I'll see his competition. And if I do have to see the footnote where the horse checked or he had a wide trip, I'll make a special note on that. And then I have to play on the track bias on that. So I just try to go out with a couple plans, like you said. But then you also have to listen to the trainer. We both have to agree on same terms.
Sure. Take us through a typical day up here, up at Saratoga, which I'm sure is a little bit different, at least from maybe some of the downstate. There's 6 days a week here, so I'm sure there's just a lot more activity. It's a lot busier. You get a lot more tired over the course of a week, perhaps, and over the course of the meet. But take us through a typical day. When do you wake up and when do you get home?
Sure. Well, I start up 4:50 every morning, besides Tuesday because it's a little lighter day. But all the 6 days a week, I wake up 4:50. Get ready, get coffee, get cleaned up, make sure you look good, and I come here 5:20 every morning. My golf cart is parked at Kenny McPeak's barn, so we stop. This is my first stop, so we're there. But me and my agent will hook up, come together, we'll do our plans, who we riding for today, make sure we see them, where our horses are going. We stop to say hello, see how our horses are doing with other barns. But we do a lot of rounds. We come and there's so many barns to see, so many trainers to see. You really can't see all of them. But we try to make main focus on the horses that we're riding, and then we also try to fit in all our work schedule. I will work up to. I worked last week maybe 7 horses with the grass works, but usually it tend to be 2 to 4 every day, all the breaks. So.
And so then what happens? So when you wind up the breaks, do you go home in the meantime or go over to the jockey's room? What's the morning like after you come over here and work horses?
Well, if I have grass workers, I have to come here early. But if I don't have any grass workers or I get done early enough, I can go home, change, but it's only 30, 45 minutes. Real quick. I live right down east, a couple minutes away, which is great. But then once I come to the jock's room, I get real focused. I make sure I do all my homework and watch the replays like we said, and make sure I can do my best out there. And then after that, you only have like an hour or two to eat dinner and then go home, relax for 30 minutes, and then you got to go straight back at it again.
Yeah, but it is Saratoga, and you have some friends. I'm sure there's some social life when you're in Saratoga.
Sure, yeah. No, I meet up with them for dinner. That's mostly the easiest time for me, but Tuesdays is the best day.
And how is it different than downstate? How's the schedule up here different? Or is it different?
It doesn't change too much,
okay.
But the 6 days a week is what's the difference. But you get the 2 days off down south and 3 days off at Aqueduct, which makes a lot more time to do more. But with the days off, I try to work out a little bit and try to stay fit. I want to make sure I can do my best on those times off.
And you talked about going around in the mornings with your agent. Give your agent a little shout out.
Oh yeah, Mike Migliore.
Richie's brother, right?
Yeah, Richie's brother. Just Richie's brother.
Yeah. and always important part of the team, the agent for the jockeys. How long you guys been together?
We hooked up last year. Last year around Belmont Spring Meet.
Let me ask you this: do you have a preference? You talked about getting tired in your first career, which is understandable. Now I'm sure you're much more fit and whatnot, but still, I'm sure that. There were a couple of mile and 3/8 on the turf yesterday. I'm sure you still get that. That's still got to be a chore. But do you have a preference? Turf sprints, dirt sprints, longer races on the turf, something you prefer or something you think you have a real feel for?
I try to ride my best in both conditions, but I really prefer the grass. I like the grass. I don't know, I kind of like to sit off the pace a little bit because I like to judge the pace and I like to see what's going on in front of me. I know what the guys in front of me have, so I really have an idea of what's going to happen. But, I just try to be an overall well-rounded rider. I try to do my best on the lead, off the pace, grass, dirt,
Yeah, you got to be
short,
versatile
long,
because
that's what I try to do. That's my main focus too, is trying to be the best rider I can be at any condition.
All right, well, let's pick up and take a look at a couple of good rides you've had. Let's go back to the Curlin. The other day, you were out there on Small Bear for our friend Gary Siaka. Bill Parcells owns Small Bear. You ran into a little buzzsaw from the Fletcher Rapoli stable with Outplay. I said when I handicapped that morning, I thought pace-wise, Outplay might take him all the way around. He did, but Small Bear, Outplay will be the number 2 horse. Small Bear is the number 3 horse. You ran a good second in here.
Oh, great second.
Yeah.
With the pace didn't help me out. There really wasn't too much pressure up front, but he's the type of horse where you have to keep riding him, or if you don't ride him, he's not going to give it to you, and that makes it harder for a jockey because you have to be fit. So he doesn't give you what you don't get out of him.
Yeah, and you've been his regular rider throughout, and you came in with an optional claiming win in an off-the-turf event down at Belmont, and a nice second in the Curl. It'll be fun to see where he winds up next, particularly given the way this 3-year-old season is going this year.
Sure.
I wanted to go back to Finger Lakes. A few weeks ago, I kind of alluded to this earlier. You ran a nice second or third in the Derby with Patted on the back. Who, again, will be interesting, you think, has the potential to show up here at some point. But I wanted to take a look at the New York Oaks because you won that one. Same day up at the Finger Lakes. You were out there for Rudy on Bonita Bianca, who certainly had shown some talent earlier in the career, was coming off a 4th place finish at Monmouth coming into this. This was your first ride on this horse out at Finger Lakes. How'd you get the ride and a nice performance here to win the New York Oaks, number 4 Bonita Bianca? Nice closing move there to get up.
Yeah, she's the same way as Small Bear for some reason, but I did have a little bit of inside information with Irad, who previously rode her, and he told me the same thing as Small Bear. You have to ride her. And right from the beginning, she hopped out of the start, and I knew I was in a little bit of trouble, but I tried to do my best, save as much ground as I could. She didn't like the dirt in her face, so I had to be on close heels behind some horses. And she just kicked and fired on. She got right in front, a head in front. She wanted to lay in on that horse, and I had a head and a neck in front of him, and I just made sure she stayed straight, so there was no inquiry. But she did what she knew what she had to do.
How'd you wind up with that one for Rudy?
We just went to the barn and asked him.
So it pays to work in the morning.
Yeah, we go and see the guys every morning. Though if we say hello, it doesn't hurt to be nice.
And it's interesting. Obviously, I had some rides here, and so you're available out there. Did you go knock on his door and say, "Hey, can you give me some info on this?"
No, he did. Once he said, "Oh, I got one for you in the Oaks," I said, "Oh, great, thank you very much." He said, "But you got to ride her. You have to ride her." He said, "Don't do anything. You have to stay on her, or she's not going to give it to you." And then that's when I really pulled up more than one replay. I had to make sure I know what I'm doing here with her.
Yeah, that was a nice ride. And again, you've been regularly the Derby winner. You've been up and won the Ontario on that one prior, right?
Yes, yeah. He shipped in a short 6 furlongs, but
he seems like maybe shorter's better for him. Ken McPeak horse, correct?
Yes. He did stretch out. He did well. I was very happy the way he ran. I went out there with a comfortable. He wanted to lead comfortably. Then I would have went there, but there was a lot of pressure early entering the backside, so I let those guys go, and he finished with them down the lane. But he did run his best race 2 turns he's ever run when he's run 2 turns.
It's notable. The New York Derby was won by the nice Chad horse, Twisted Tom, who I think is a New York. It had come out of trying the Belmont Stakes, so I think there's a horse with some class there that won the race. But I think yours is going to be a nice little 3-year-old on the New York bred side as well. Well, Dylan, we'll let you go. We certainly appreciate the visit. You came out of Belmont with a top 10 finish down there, and you're moving into Saratoga. You got a nice second place finish in the Curlin most recently. Always fun to root for the local connections. And you are a local boy here, and as I say, it's always fun to see your dad down in the winner's circle when some of the siblings get it done. He's got the big smile on his face. That's fun as well, because those of us around the New York game certainly remember Robbie Davis. But we appreciate your visiting us this morning. Give us a little update, and good luck on the meet and the career.
Thank you.
All right, Dylan Davis. We will take a break. When we come back, Joanne Pepper, old friends at Cabin Creek. They have a little event coming up, a little fundraiser. We'll alert you on that and much, much more right after this. Stay tuned.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
I'm Mark Cassano. Join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch. We'll inform, analyze, and welcome in the biggest names in racing. So join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch, right here on the OTB television network.
Not at the track and not near a computer? No problem. Wager with Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System and you'll never get shut out again. Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System is quick, simple to use, and guarantees your wagers are accurate and placed on time. For more information, visit CapitalOTB.com or call Capital OTB's customer service hotline at 800-292-BETS. Capital OTB's Touchtone Wagering System. Never get shut out again.
What if there was a way to become a better horse player, to have a better knowledge of the game, to be more successful? What if there were a way to take what you've learned, what you know, and make better decisions, better choices, to know how to connect the dots? In horse racing, knowledge is a powerful tool, but not the only tool. Race results and replays, past performances and live streaming, wagering from all your digital devices. These too are important tools, and you'll find them all right here at Capital OTB. Capital OTB. Become a better horse player.
I'm Steve Beck.
And I'm Seth Merrill.
Together, we're Loose on the Lead on Capital OTB, Sundays at 10 a.m. Why should they watch, Seth?
Sit down on Sunday, have a bagel, get some great racing conversation.
Cream cheese only, no jelly. Sundays, 10 a.m., Loose on the Lead, Capital OTB.
Like a fly flew in my mouth just as we were coming on here. It happens like once a season. Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Monday morning. Happy to be joined now by Joanne Pepper, old friends at Cabin Creek. Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning, Seth. Thanks
watch
for having me.
Watch out for the livestock.
I know, I'm worried.
I think it happens like once a year. So that's good I got it out of the way early. Always have you on. Always happy to have you on because you guys are right up the road with one of our favorite racing-related charity places and events we'll talk about as well. We have Michael Blown on typically every year. He founded Old Friends down in Kentucky. You're the New York, the Bobby Frankel branch right up the road. Just tell us a little bit the mission of Old Friends.
Our mission is to provide a dignified retirement and raise awareness of their needs throughout their lifetime.
And like the Kentucky branch, you have some familiar names up there that people can go up and visit. It's always a lot of fun to remember the old timers and talk a little bit about some of the horses you have up there on the farm.
Oh, we have Zippy Chippy, of course. We had a big party for him last week, and it was 200 people in the pouring rain. It was so fun, and he loved every minute of it.
Zippy Chippy, who is being a little obstreperous with the tongue out to the author of his book, correct?
Yes, that's William Thomas, who wrote the book. He comes every year to see him. William's hilarious. He's actually scared of Zippy. So he handed him a mint, and then he backed off really quick, and I don't know. But Zippy's doing really well. He's our oldest horse at 26, and that's his best friend, Red, who insists on being in every photo. Zippy's doing great, but we just want everybody to come and see him and spend some time with him. He's really a character.
Pulled some shots off the Facebook page as well. The horse folks may remember Be Bullish.
Yes, Be Bullish is doing great. We were just talking to Teresa about him. That's him with his best friend, Patrick, who's a 29-year-old quarter horse who belongs to June, one of our volunteers. Patrick helped Bull become a country boy horse instead of a racehorse. Bull was pretty upset when he first arrived, but he's doing really, really well. And all his old contacts would be happy to know he stopped rearing and striking about a year ago.
I never thought about that, but that's a great point. The farm is very different than the racetrack, and so I'm assuming then some of them take a little while to kind of transition.
Yep, he took the longest to transition, maybe a year to really relax. He's doing great.
And remind us again some of the names we might remember from right here at Saratoga that are up on the farm.
Commentator, Will's Way. We have This Hardland. King Kanji is there. He's been there about a year now.
The West Point horse.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, quite a story he's
Yeah.
got. Mr. Cowboy, we just got Doc and Roll, who was trying to become a jumper for 5 years, and he had a bad back, so he finally got to retire to our place. Strummer's there, just a sweet, sweet horse. Just all great.
Again, names that people will be familiar with, and I'll alert you on when you can visit and whatnot. But first, if you were leaving from the racetrack, 15, 20 minutes?
If that, 15 with not a lot of traffic.
So people should keep that in mind. It's close and it's fun. You can go up and visit the horses. Again, you have the Zippy Chippy event. Tuesdays during the meet, there are events happening up there. The Davis family, Robbie and his family will be up in a few weeks. There's an Always Dreaming Day coming up.
Tomorrow.
I think Terry, tomorrow's the Always Dreaming
Yes,
Day.
yep.
So talk a little bit about the Tuesday events.
Yes, it's just a great place to come. Greenhouse Salad Company is selling lunches to benefit us every Tuesday, and their food is spectacular. It's just great lunch. So tomorrow is Always Dreaming Day. Terry's there with whoever he can get to come with them. On the 8th, we'll be celebrating our Whitney luncheon with Will's Way won and commentator won twice.
Yeah.
On the 15th, we're going to have a bunch of local charities from Saratoga for a Give Back Day. And then on the 22nd will be Robbie Davis and his family. And we'll end the season on the last Tuesday, the 25th, with a Fan Appreciation Day.
And what time do the Tuesday events kick off?
We have tours from 9 to 1 and lunch is served from 11 to 1.
And again, you go to there's an Old Friends website that you can visit, oldfriends@cabincreek.com. Visit the website. You can find schedules. You guys have a Facebook page as well,
Yes,
correct?
yep.
So people can swing by to
Everything's
get
on
more
there.
information at any of those venues. Again, it's always fun to go up and visit some of the old timers. And what kind of interaction do
Definitely.
folks get if they're as fans when they get up there?
Oh, all kinds. Probably get sneezed on, but you get to
Take home a
feed
souvenir.
them. Yes, you can do selfies with them. You can feed them snacks. You can just sit down and watch them. You can just stay all day if you'd like.
What's again, Tuesdays throughout the meet, you have the events. The rest of the year, if folks are local and interested, what are the visitation opportunities the rest of the year?
Yep, every Saturday year round from 12 to 3.
All right, and let's talk a little bit about a fundraiser you have coming up. And I know last year you sold out, so if folks are interested this year, jump on the bandwagon. Coming up Sunday, August 6th, Saratoga National, the After the Race cocktail party.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. Last year was just a beautiful evening. This year we're honoring the Gaming Commission for their commitment to aftercare, and they're really trying to make sure things get in order. So we're looking forward to that. And Saratoga National is always such a beautiful, beautiful place to go. And the weather's supposed to be perfect, like 75 degrees. So.
And that's coming up again Sunday, August 6th. It'll kick off at about 6:30. If people want tickets,
Yep,
what do
on
they
the
do?
website. They can go to our website or give me a call.
All right, sounds good. Again, highly recommended because that's a fundraiser for you guys. And as you say,
It's our biggest.
the Racing Commission involved, but not only that, it just seems like over the past 10, certainly 5 years, the industry as a whole has become more interested in these second careers or retirements for the racehorses.
Most definitely. It's so good to see that, the thoroughbred industry cares so much and that we are making improvements, and we'll get there.
A place like yours, a great place for horses to go and retire, to get taken care of. Fans can go see them. Just remind us what it costs, like on a daily basis, to take care of a racehorse.
Daily, I'm not sure. We can kind of break it down to almost $25 to $30 a day, including all the farm
Sure.
and taxes and all of that. But for the horse itself, it's about $15 a day to feed them. To break it down through the year with their farrier visits and their spring and fall shots is about $15 a day.
So again, these horses, need the support, and if you're a racing fan and you've appreciated them on the racetrack, certainly worth going to the charity event. Or yesterday when I was on your website, there's a PayPal link. It's just
Yes.
somebody just wants to donate.
Yes, yep. We have
As
a lot
well.
of people who donate monthly, which is so good that we can count on that, and we're really thankful for
I also saw,
the support.
I'm assuming you guys have a gift shop, because I saw there's a picture, I think it was Facebook, of little vials of paddock sand.
Yes, that's new. One of our volunteers has been dying to do this. So we have paddock sand. She was very careful to go collect the sand and mark it and mark the vials, so you can get a little vial of Will's Ways paddock sand or Zippy's or King Conchi's. It's really, really sweet. And they're selling like crazy.
Yeah, I tried it. I looked, I thought, hey, that's, kind of interesting.
But yeah, in our gift shop, we have all kinds of T-shirts and hats and pint glasses with horses' names
I highly recommend the
them.
glasses. You guys brought in a couple glasses last year, and they're right at the front. They're my go-tos now.
Yes,
the
they
pint
are nice.
glasses. And again, it's a great way to kind of give back to a really good racing-related charity, the retirement facility down in Kentucky that Michael Brown runs, and the New York division up here, the Bobby Frankel division, Old Friends at Cabin Creek. Certainly worth keeping these horses healthy and happy in their retirements. Zippy Chippy, I've said it probably 3 times already this week, but it's one of my favorite racing things. I made a trip to Northampton Fair, the only trip I made to a New England fair. His last start, career loss number 100 for Zippy Chippy. Yeah.
Yeah, that must have been fun.
And is he a little obstreperous? Did you say that the author?
No, Zippy was fine.
He's friendly?
William was just a little scared of him. I don't know. But Zippy doesn't really like to be groomed. You got to catch him on a good day. So we just roll with it, depending on how he's acting.
I'm assuming all of them, you got to kind of have to figure out the personality. They all must have unique
Yeah, they are.
personalities.
They're very unique. But I think they're all becoming very content, and it's just amazing to see the transition when they come off the track. And some of them miss the, excitement, but then they learn to love it for sure.
Yeah. And it's a great setting, again, just up the road. Joe, I appreciate the visit and certainly the work you guys do. We will again tout coming up Sunday, August 6th, the cocktail party, 6:30 after the races at Saratoga National. More information on the website, oldfriendsatcabincreek.com. Buy some tickets, go there. Also the website, and just make a donation. Or stop up at Old Friends at Cabin Creek Tuesdays during the month for the Tuesday events. And again, time for the Tuesday events.
9 to 1, lunch 11 to 1.
All right, sounds good. Joanne, again, appreciate the visit, but also appreciate the work you do. You do a great job.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Joanne Pepper, Old Friends at Cabin Creek. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. A couple of minutes just to wrap things up on this Monday. Stay tuned.
Thanks.
No matter where in the world you are, the excitement of wagering on horse racing is just a click away. Bet any place, anytime at CapitalOTBBet.com. And be sure to download our new mobile app from the iTunes Store or Google Play.
Come on!
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit RTN.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Don't miss the 2017 Thoroughfan Annual Awards Brunch with special guest speaker Donna Barton Brothers. This annual event is Saturday, August 12th at the Embassy Suites in Saratoga Springs, New York. Go to thoroughfan.com for tickets and information.
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
With more than 60 Easy Bet and branch locations throughout the region, you're just a short drive from all the top tracks across the country and around the world. For a complete list of all Easy Bet and branch locations, visit CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB. We're closer than you think.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back. Just a couple of minutes to wrap things up here on the Monday edition of Racing Across America. Did want to tout you, though. There are a couple of more Old Friends events worth noting coming up. This Wednesday night, the Washington Inn, right around the corner here. Michael Blown from Old Friends is going to have an event. Barbara Livingston book signing. So our friend Barbara Livingston, swing by there and enjoy that. And again, it gives you another opportunity to donate to Old Friends. That's Wednesday night at the Washington Inn. Michael Blown, Old Friends down in Kentucky with a Barbara Livingston book signing. Also coming up on the 18th, Saratoga and West Point are going to get together to have an event at Manola down in Malta that will benefit old friends. That should be a fun event as well. That's coming up. It's still a couple weeks away. We'll tell you on that one also, but a Manola on August 18th with Saratoga and West Point for old friends. All right. Going to wrap things up for the Wednesday edition. Again, thanks to Joy and Pepper from Old Friends, Dylan Davis, and we kick things off with Katie Sharp and Justin Nicholson from EquestriCon. Wrapping up a Monday here on the Capital OTB TV set live at Saratoga. It looks like a gorgeous Monday. Again, a $49,000 pick six carryover today, a $100,000 carryover in the late pick five. Pick five can be bet at Capital OTB via the branches or Phonabet, so keep that in mind. You see the Phonabet number on your screen right now, but you can bet at Capital OTB, branches or Phonabet. Also want to alert you, Bet 100, Get 100 kicks off tomorrow and will continue for a couple of weeks, the 1st through the 16th. Sign up for a new Capital Bets account starting tomorrow and through the 16th. If you bet 100, you get 100 with a new Capital Bets account. More information at the website, capitalotbbet.com. All right, I'm going to wrap things up. Seth Merrow in here with Racing Across America as we put the exclamation point on week number 2 here at Saratoga on what looks to be a beautiful day. Hopefully it will be beautiful at the betting windows as well, because yesterday I was treading water. We'll see if I can swim to the other end of the pool as Monday progresses. We'll be back in here on Wednesday morning with the Handicappers Report at 9 and Racing Across America at 10. In the meantime, enjoy the races, cash a few tickets. See you again Wednesday morning.
You've been watching Racing Across America with Seth Merrow. Racing Across America has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. Thoroughfan, giving the fan a voice. Find them at thoroughfan.com. And Woodbine Racetrack. Pick, bet, and cheer on world-class horse racing north of the border.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.